Thank you. Yeah. This microphone is very, very hot right now. I come from the Republic of Brooklyn. Is Brooklyn in the house? It's an honor and a privilege to be with all of you. I've got a little message. So Netroots, for nearly 20 years, the people who power this movement have gathered together at this event. You are the guiding force, defending the most enduring system of government. And I come before you today to urge you to draw upon your love of one another, to defeat efforts to replace the rule of law with the rule of one man. You are the fuse that we need to ignite a flame to protect our democracy against the looming threat of fascism. Informed by history, you understand the dangers of isolationism and nativist rhetoric. And all of you in this room are more concerned about the trajectory of this country than you are yourselves. Individuals who are not afraid to challenge liars in high places, committed souls, bounded together by the arc of humanity and our common struggles. You don't do it for the glory. You don't do it for the fame. You do it because you have a deep faith and commitment in the promises of this great nation. You do it because you believe that there are more people who love their neighbor than fear their neighbor. More people who would rather protect their own rights than take away the rights of others. More people building bridges than erecting walls. And fear and apathy are not part of your vocabulary because you understand all that is at risk. Dystopia. We just saw voters in Britain and France soundly reject extreme right-wing politics. And we must do the same thing here. We must win because we cannot afford to lose, because chaos and confusion are on the horizon. I don't have to tell you, during the previous administration, my office sued the federal government more than 100 times for illegal actions. And I am prepared to do that shit again. We sued to challenge the administration's efforts to harm the environment, to deny access to health care, to roll back reproductive rights, to discriminate against immigrants, to separate children from their parents, to place migrants in cages, to deny the LGBT+ community their full rights and protections under the law, and to put workers in harm's way, and to turn this country into a right-to-work state, which is nothing more than a right to work for poverty wages. Make no mistake, if he wins again, things will be far worse because they are more disciplined, more organized, more focused, and more enraged. And without the prospect of facing voting voters again after 4 years of learning what he can and cannot get away with a Supreme Court granting him partial immunity, and with 8 years of new grudges, he will be infinitely more dangerous the second time around. He has no vision, blind to facts, blind to figures, blind to science, void of any rational thought. He is a broken man. He practices the politics of petty personal grievances and sweeping vendetta. And if he is allowed to walk into a second term after all that he has done already, there is no telling the extent to which he will abuse his concentrated power. And the institutional appeasers and the far-right ideologues that will set the details of the policies know exactly what they will do. Because Project 2025 is their manifesto, their playbook, and there's no denying it. And this 900-page blueprint details exactly what the next Republican administration will do. And it mirrors the GOP's platform in their convention. Under the plan, the right would permanently gut the federal government with a plan to defund the Department of Justice, dismantle the FBI, break up the Department of Homeland Security, eliminate the Department of Education and Commerce, limit the enforcement authority of the National Labor Relations Board. The plan would destroy green energy policy, eliminate LGBTQ+ protections, privatize government, throttle immigration, reject history, roll back women's civil rights, create a right-to-work nation, and purge expert servants to spur the consolidation of executive power. And I say, hell no. This election is a reflection of our priorities as a nation, a reflection of the ties that bind us and our common good. And now listen, I know that there is communal despair, a sense that working people are falling behind, that student loans need to be restructured, that rent and mortgages are too damn high, a growing sense that enough is not being done, that no one is speaking to the issues of the common man or woman. But the answer, my friend, is not turning to a despot that history has taught us will be painfully destructive to all of us. No, all of us must continue to press forward with our eyes on the prize, marching into those poll sites each and every day, fighting against corporate greed. That's what we should focus on. Fight against corporate monopolies. That's what we should focus on. Focus on dark money in politics. That's what we should focus on. Focus on voter suppression. That's what we should focus on. Focus on gerrymandering. That's what we should focus on. Focus on deceptive business practices. That's what we should focus on. Unfair trade and labor practices. That's what we should focus on. And the march towards privatization. And the list goes on and on and on. But I and my Democratic attorney generals, my colleagues, we wake up every day, and I can only speak for myself with this fire in my belly, recognizing the simple proposition, and that is no man is above the law. That no man or woman in this country is so high that he or she is above the law. No officer of government, no matter how high or no matter how low, should stand in defiance and with impunity to the law. All of us must be bound by the rule of law. And so let's get back on message. Because this is a time to look forward, a time where we should have a call to order, a call to organize, a call to protect our rights, a call to protect vulnerable and marginalized populations, a call to lift our voices, a call to light the flame of freedom, a call to collective action, a call to remember all of those heroes who died on the field for our rights and our privileges as a nation. Because we cannot win without standing together and fighting with everything that we have. It is a goddamn American tragedy that more than 100 years after the passage of the 19th Amendment, 60 years after the passage of the Civil Rights Act, and 56 years after Lyndon Baines Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act into law, we face renewed attempts to deny the basic American right to vote, especially in communities of color. But voting rights are far from the only fundamental freedom under attack. The Supreme Court has already gutted Roe. They refused the opportunity to protect emergency medical abortions and all but invited future attacks on emergency abortions and medication abortions. And as I recently traveled to Texas, and as I met women who could not have abortions for ectopic pregnancies, with fetal abnormalities, women who literally bled on bathroom floors, and that was the only way that they can get attention. States refusing to add exceptions of rape and incest to abortion bans. This is not the type of nation that again lives up to its promises for all individuals. And what is so ironic about the whole situation, these individuals who claim to protect life and stand up for life are the same individuals who want to gut food for children, who want to eliminate Head Start and the Department of Education. And in their pernicious decision to strike down Chevron deference, this court spat in the face of science and expertise and demonstrated its complete disgust and disdain for government. They guaranteed new gridlock in the courts and weaponized existing gridlock in Congress. And they have made it all but impossible to protect public health, including fighting the next pandemic. They decimated our slim hopes of taking the steps that are needed to fight climate change and slow the destruction of our planet and of our environment at a time when our planet is on fire. And with the destruction of Roe, it is not just reproductive rights that are under attack. In fact, every single right grounded on privacy is at risk. And many people believe that the next president will have the opportunity to nominate at least 2 justices to the Supreme Court. So who do you want the president to be? If Russia further invades Europe, as some nations have been preparing for, who do you want the president to be? With extreme weather, meaning Category 5 hurricanes in the month of June, who do you want the president to be? With mass shootings so frequent and individuals just giving empty prayers and thoughts, who do you want the president to be? With the former president embracing and welcoming and admiring autocratic leaders, who do you want the president to be? What's at stake in our democracy? Everything is at stake in our democracy. Our democracy itself is at stake. But it is up to us, all of us with fires in our belly, to do everything in our power to save our democracy before it is put to the gravest of tests. We can only survive if we are prepared to be indivisible, fearless against injustice, fearless against demagogues, fearless against hate, and bigotry, and division, fearless to protect and defend the rule of law, and fearless to protect our nation, one nation under God. Progress is not linear. We need the chance to keep building, particularly when the alternative could be the destruction of all that we hold dear, and the stakes simply could not be higher. So it's time to rise up, stand up, speak up, step up, and turn this moment into a movement to save our democracy with cold water running through your veins, and collectively reject the dark impulses of a former president. I am not afraid, Netroots, because my roots run deep. They are cemented in the law, and I will use the long arm of justice, both as a sword and as a shield, until we, all of us, achieve justice, and until, my friends, victory is won. God bless you and thank you.